I just had a hysterectomy because of potential endometriosis and I feel relieved that I can never have biological children and be pregnant. I used to be one of the women who always wanted children, for as long as I can remember. The whole package: marriage, house, dog and cats and children. And I tried that lifestyle. I was married, we had dogs and cats, were looking for houses and we tried to get pregnant and even tried IVF. That broke me in the end, because I've never gotten pregnant and I ended everything. I divorced and desperately needed an out. I felt suffocated and pressured to be someone and do things I didn't wanted to do. After the divorce, people kept asking when I am going to start looking for someone new and I need to birth some children, etc. It felt so uncomfortable and hurt me and I wasn't sure what I was feeling inside. Do I really want kids, or did I wanted kids because society wanted me to? Fast forward to this year. At the beginning of 2022, a friend of mine talked about endometriosis. I have never heard of it before and didn't knew what it was, so I asked her. She is such an angel and was very open about it and talked and educated me on what it was and what potential symptoms were. I checked every freaking symptom she listed and I was mortified. I lived for over 20 years with those symptoms and every doctor I went to told me this is normal. It is normal to bleed so much. It is normal that periods hurt so much, etc. I couldn't take it any longer and went to a clinic, which specialized in endometriosis. I went through a lot of examinations and it looked like that it was quite massive with the endometriosis and the chances were high that my intestines were stuck to my uterus. So I gave the doctors the consent, if the endometriosis is too advanced and too severe, that rather than to keep parts of it inside and risking it to come back, to just take my uterus out during the laparoscopy. I was done. If my uterus is so broken and hurting me so much, then please take it. In the end, this is what happened. My uterus was not savable without leaving something behind, and as it turned out, I had adenomyosis, where the lining of the uterus grows into the muscles of your uterus. Because of that I had so much pain, constant pain, long periods at least 7 or even 14 days and bleeding through every pad, tampon, etc. and getting pregnant with it, is really hard. Up to this point I just couldn't decide how I felt about children after the divorce. My divorce was 3 years ago. So I had some time to think and decide. But for the love of God, I just couldn't. Now after the hysterectomy I cried and felt so much relief. I felt that a heavy burden and weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. No more pain, no more periods, no more bleeding through, and especially I am just not able to get pregnant. I can't get pregnant by accident. I can't get pregnant due to faulty contraception. I can't get trapped with a child. I can't be convinced to bear a child. I can be selfish and live my life for me and not have the obligation and responsibility of another human being. I feel like now it is okay to not have children, because physically I now cannot. I sometimes say, I am now a functional kitchen without an oven. Although I am relieved, there is still a small voice in the back of my head asking, is it really okay to feel relieved to not bear children? Is it really okay to not have children? Doctor, due to a friend I found out that I may have endometriosis and had a laparoscopy, which ended with me having my uterus removed and I was diagnosed with adenomyosis. Because of that I feel relieved that I can't bear any children anymore, but feel also conflicted, if it is really okay to feel relieved to not bear children.